Welcome to Family Gamer TV. We're here at Anki to get a sneak peek at their new product, Overdrive. This is the follow-up to the Anki DRIVE game that uses small model toy cars on a track. There's some great new features and we're here to find out what it's all about. So as you can see, we've got the starter pack in the background, but just have a quick look at these two cars. Now these are extra cars you can buy, Nuke on the right and Thermo on the left. This ups your starter pack to be 4 players, and probably for a family that's pretty important. Back in the starter pack you've got Skull and Ground Shock, the 2 cars that come in the box. You also get a whole bunch of tracks of curved pieces and of straight pieces, because of course this is no longer a mat. This is a sort of a clip and play, create your own track kind of construction, much more like we're used to with Scalextrics, and a real departure, I think, for Anki. Now you can see here as we follow these cars around, now this is running in a sort of demo mode, so you still only have 4 players at one time, but there is this SDK and that's what we're using here. And you can see the front cars there, all the same type, are just trailing each other, but our new characters in the starter pack and separately are starting to hunt them down and are following them up behind. But as they do this, you can get a feel for how this is different. This is a track that Anki have created for us with a whole load of spirals, ramps, and there's even a jump in it, which we'll have a look at in a moment. Now, although you won't be able to do all this out of the starter pack, you do get those 10 pieces and you can make a nice little figure of 8. You can make a piece that has a ramp and a crossover, and just really get yourself started in the sort of world of Anki Overdrive, as the new game is called. Now, I like the way it continues from the first game, Anki DRIVE, so you can continue to use your cars. So if you've got cars already, you can immediately take them and use them with the starter pack, so you've already got a whole bunch of cars to race against. Now if we just flip the box over, we have a look at the back of the starter pack and you can see Skull and Ground Shock, the 2 cars there, and also we get an idea of what pieces we have in the set. Of course you can make all these different tracks. You get 2 cars, 6 turns and 4 straights. And in Overdrive we also get a charging pad that houses 4 cars as opposed to that 3-pinned charger from last year. This means that the cars will be packaged differently in Overdrive, so no longer will they come in those clamshell cases, but they'll just sit on this 4-tiered charger so you can charge them all at once. But this is really to get you started, because you can bend and flex these tracks as you can see in the layout here. Maybe up onto a sofa, down onto a coffee table and all around your living room. Now here we are, the 4 new cars, and on the left we have Ground Shock. You want to get a close-up look at him first, because of course he comes in the starter pack we're looking at today. Nice detail on the wheels, a nice sort of aerodynamic look. The designer of these cars was responsible for the design of Hollywood film cars, and particularly those in Minority Report, so it has that sort of futuristic Blade Runner feel. The LEDs are a little bit brighter on the Anki Overdrive cars compared to just the Anki Drive cars. Let's go and switch over and we'll bring Skull in. Now I really like Skull. I think it's sort of the flame effect on the wheels, the slightly retro sort of bulldogish front of the car, and in profile it looks really nice. Underneath you can see how all the sensors work, and from top down of course he's got those skull decals. And these cars are a bit more detailed than we saw in Anki Drive. The Overdrive cars feel like they have more personality, and that is hooking into the fact that both commanders and the game itself is going to be moving towards having a campaign and a story, so there's a little bit more going on, and a little bit more on the video game side of things as well. If we just pop Skull back with his companions and competitors. Now as we just pan across our new cars, you can see them all lighting up, but it's important to know that there's other sort of under the hood enhancements as well. Now for the first time you'll be able to use Anki Overdrive being played both across iPad or Android. So if you've got an Android and device and an iPad in your house, as many families would, you can use all of those to control and race. And I think that's nice because it opens it up for a much wider audience. Of course, as we said, in the pack you get these set of straights and curves, and they just clip together like this. You can see, you just bring them close to each other and they sort of, those magnets attract, and it's a little bit like attaching a case or cover to your iPad, or perhaps plugging in the power cable to your MacBook if you've got one of those. And it's very simple and it feels very robust, and that's important because one of the aspects of these tracks is that they do bend and flex, and that means that you can bring them up onto surfaces, create the sort of crazy all around your room, perhaps all around your home. I want to see if I can get a track going up and down stairs, and then send our cars off around them, and they just do that automatically. They very quickly work out the route around the track and will just follow it and keep themselves in play. I'm looking forward to sort of seeing the different designs that the kids come up with, and you can see here it's really a reflective surface. It has a sort of a wobble to it, but it is really sort of quite thick but quite different from the mat which you would just roll out and be going. I think a part of the gameplay and a part of the fun now is going to be designing these tracks. If you give it a bit of a flex, you can see it has a little bit of give in it. Now I want to end our Anki Overdrive Starter Pack unboxing by having a close look at what the cars appear like in the dark, and you can see it really sort of ups the impact and the feel that these cars are alive. My kids enjoyed playing Anki Drive in the dark, and I'm sure they'll be doing the same with Anki Overdrive. And of course you can take these new cars and take them back to play on that old mat. The forward and backwards compatibility is nice and impressive, and I think that was important because these cars aren't cheap. Now the final sort of pièce de résistance for our unboxing is the jump element of the track. Now I think this is a really important part of the game, but you don't get it in the starter pack. It's something you're going to have to buy extra. There are other elements you can get, such as crossovers or dead ends, that also expand upon what you've already got, and of course those 2 extra new cars as well, and there'll be more on the way, I'm sure. But this is our first look at the Anki Overdrive Starter Pack, and I'm pretty impressed. It sounds like it's going to be around $150 in the US. The price isn't confirmed yet in the UK and other territories, but I think it's likely to come across and be the same price in pounds as it is in dollars. That seemed to be how it worked on the original game. I was glad to see that this time round we're going with a worldwide release of September this year. So unlike currently where the UK still hasn't got all those mats, when Anki Overdrive launches, everybody will get everything. And I think that's important because of its modular design, that you really want to have hands on all the bonus bits, all the extra bits, of course, as well as that starter pack. I'll be looking forward to getting more hands-on with the game in the family. But there you go, that's our first look at the Anki Overdrive Starter Pack. That's all we've got time for today on Family Gamer TV. We'll be back with more Anki Drive Skylanders Disney Infinity soon.